So, to begin, my topic is on Breath of the Wild, and specifically, the game, presumably, if it doesn't get delayed again, is supposed to launch around March of next year, which is less than 6 months away. I think it's about 5 months away. And Nintendo has yet to say anything about what the NX is, and I think they may be saving more of the Breath of the Wild information that we don't know to show us, or to let us kind of understand more of the game along with the NX whenever they kind of show it off, since Breath of the Wild's the only big game that we know that's going to be coming out on it. So the question is, when do you guys think Nintendo will be showing off more of Breath of the Wild? Will it be during a Nintendo Direct next month, at the beginning of next year? Will it be a Nintendo Direct or a separate event like how they showed off the gameplay footage during the Game Awards? And will they be talking about other gameplay mechanics in the game they haven't shown off yet? Will they be showing us a town or a village for the first time, or the inside of an actual dungeon instead of a shrine? So basically, when do you guys think Breath of the Wild will be shown again, and what exactly do you think will be shown off with it?
Specifically, let's begin with E3 2016, where the first real batch of Breath of the Wild information was kind of came about. Nintendo did show a lot at that event, and they've shown kind of bits and pieces, and now and at this current point, for example, that whole Temple of Time trailer that they revealed, I think a month back or something along those lines. And speaking about when will they reveal more Breath of the Wild stuff, I have a feeling around the NX, whenever the NX gets revealed. Who knows what that'll be? Since supposedly it is going to be released right alongside the NX around March. So I'm feeling like they want to hype up Breath of the Wild alongside the... Oh, sorry, I'm yawning. So I have a feeling that they want to hype up Breath of the Wild alongside the NX to give it an advantage of being a launch title, to really get the NX up there, and have Breath of the Wild to really steer its hype train towards that direction, if that makes sense.
I could see that. So, when they do show it off, what do you think will be revealed? Like, do you think, since you think it will be shown off with the NX, do you think it'll showing off special features that are only on the NX version, or do you think it'll just be more of the same that we've already seen? Because they haven't, they've announced all these different amiibos for Breath of the Wild, and the only one that we know for sure that does something is the Wolf Link amiibo from Twilight Princess.
Earlier you also mentioned, like, if we think they're gonna show, like, a town.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool, but the first thing that came to my mind was how much they're trying to avoid spoiling the storyline, so that kind of, at first I was like, oh, that would be cool, but then when I thought of that, I was like, oh, they might not show that since they're trying to hide the story. But I guess since it would be closer to its release date, they might. But again, depends on, like, how much they want to hide from us.
Yeah, I think if they cut a trailer or special footage just for them showing it off, I think they could get away with showing a town or a village without spoiling the story. I think the reason they took them out of the E3 demo, as they said, is so you don't have the chance to start talking to the NPCs. But if there is a town shown off in a trailer or a village shown off, then you might come to the conclusion this is Hyrule Castle Town, or this is Breath of the Wild's version of Kakariko Village or something. But
Okay.
without talking to the NPCs, none of the story
Would
could
be revealed.
potentially be revealed, unless it's like seeing the Spirit Temple. Whenever we see it in ruins, obviously we know that something bad has happened to the Spirit Temple in Breath of the Wild. But it doesn't necessarily give us too much information to where it's spoiling something. So I
sense.
think if they can keep clear of like talking to certain NPCs, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to show us a village or a town.
That's true. That makes sense.
Yeah. What about you, Andy?
In terms of like, let's say, newly like new features that will kind of like spice up Breath of the Wild, I feel like Nintendo just wants to leave things kind of under the table. The reason why I'm saying that is because when the first real batches of Breath of the Wild footage was occurring around E3 2016, Miyamoto and Anuma did say that they did remove all the NPCs and the villagers from the Great Plateau, and they really wanted to keep the story under wraps. And that's just the story. There could be other gameplay elements or other kind of twists and turns, like for example sailing, if whether or not that's going to be in there, could be under the table until they reveal more about it, in which case an NX reveal, or they'll just wait until that game actually gets released to blow people's minds. But I feel like Nintendo is pacing themselves, and I think that's actually a very good strategy to work off of.
How do you feel about the pacing?
In
'Cause I
terms
know,
of the
like-
pacing, sorry, I think you're cutting out.
I was just gonna say, because with the pacing, like, I know a lot of people are getting, like, a little impatient, or their hype is dying down and then building up again and then dying down again.
Oh yeah, like hype for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in terms of, like, the hype and everything, how do you feel Nintendo's doing with their pacing?
Oh, that's a really. I have friends of mine who are going absolutely crazy because the NX is not being revealed. I'm talking about this person needs to go to a mental asylum.
Oh no!
Like people are just like, they're just so hungry for NX news, and it could be anything. Like Nintendo could just make a tweet saying like NX, like that's it, and people will just like lose it.
Yeah.
And so like the reason why I don't think Nintendo has been kind of lax on NX news is Kimishima. He did an interview, I believe like a couple of months back, before E3. He said the reason why the NX is being pushed to 2017 is because he wants to have a really good launch with a bunch of enthralling launch titles. So I have in mind that Kimishima is looking for the right possible moment to market the NX and to really showcase it as a very enthralling console with a very good launch, much better than the Wii U's. And so I feel like that's a strategy he's banking on. So in terms of whether or not the NX is going to be revealed next week, I have no idea. But I feel like under Kimishima, Nintendo is pulling off this one very tactfully.
Yeah. I apologize there for a moment before CC asked her question about Nintendo's pacing and the hype building up for Breath of the Wild. I actually, after you ended your sentence, Andy, I started to say something and didn't realize my microphone was muted, so while I was waiting on you guys to respond, yeah.
It totally
I had a
cut out
little,
for a minute.
Blonde moment, I guess. But yeah, I was just going to remark on how Nintendo has, like, they went forever, almost 2 years, I think, with giving us the trailer that they said was in-game footage with what we now know as the Guardian chasing Link, and then we seen the zoomed-in footage, and that was all we had for the longest time. And then in one day, they gave us 6 to 8 hours worth of gameplay footage. Now it was all centered around the same area, so most of the footage was the same thing over and over again, but it was still really nice to see all that. And it makes me wonder if the Game Awards comes and they do have another segment there and they show off more gameplay footage, certain items or another rune ability or something like that. I would really like to see it, but how they've been pacing it, I think if they steadily gave us a little bit every month about the game, I think we would get used to it and the hype would steadily start to decline. But if they keep doing how they have been, and they really haven't given us anything since E3, so if they wait until a couple of months before or during the NX reveal, then I think the information they give us will hold more value in terms of hyping people up and making people interested in the product again than they would be if we were just given a little bit at a time over the course of several months, if that makes any sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so like I know with wasn't it Smash Brothers? Like 2 or 3 months before it came out, they would give us like a teaser image or something like that every day or every week from the developer of the game. Do you guys remember that?
Not particularly sure.
Alright. Well, yeah, like I remember he would upload an image to Twitter and then he would give some vague statement to the game, and I think they slowly revealed some of the characters that were going to be in the game that way, which Smash Brothers is a lot different than Zelda, but I'm glad that they're taking the approach they are with Breath of the Wild instead of the way that they've done some of their other games like Smash Brothers, if anyone listening remembers how they approached that game. So, but I think that's about it for this topic. Andy, if you would like to go on with your topic.
Hey, I'm McIntyre Productions, or Andy, or whatever you like to call me, I suppose. I typically do Zelda theories and countdowns and discussions news over at the McIntyre Productions channel. And I'm actually working on a second channel dealing purely with animations. I'm actually working on one right now. And if that strikes you fancy, then head over there. And yeah.
Alright, hi guys, I'm Cecilia, or Cece for short. Over on my channel I just do kind of Zelda related videos, but I try to expand to like other things of my interest, so if you're interested, check that out.
What's up everyone, this is Jesse, and welcome to the Inslate. I would like to thank you for watching this video. If you're a fan of my Zelda or gaming news theory or discussion videos like this, please consider supporting this channel by donating through patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can get new videos early, be able to join on discussion or theory videos, get shoutouts, and tons of other great rewards. Thank you all so much for allowing me to do this, watching my videos, and especially you Alex Myers, Jonathan, The Itch Network, and John Frank for your support on Patreon.